Antarctica. How much do you actually know about it? I bet a lot of us could probably agree on the fact that Antarctica sits at the bottom of the globe. There's cute little penguins on it, and also it's covered in ice. But that's like about it, yeah? Did you know almost every country in the world owns a sliver of Antarctica, and we started exploring it in 1820 on foot? But yet when you pull up Antarctica on Google Earth, it literally looks like a 2-year-old did a Photoshop job with missing parts and glitching pieces. It's really strange. Here's where stuff gets interesting. We're really only allowed to see part of Antarctica because there was a treaty written quite a while ago that stated that we weren't allowed to go to the inner workings of Antarctica. But before that treaty was written, there was a man by the name of Robert Byrd, and this man traveled into the heart of Antarctica and wrote his experience in his diary. The story from his journal actually takes place in 1946 to 1947 and called Operation High Jump. The reason those dates are significant is because they take place during the time of World War II and into the Cold War era, which is interesting because that's when we were testing and playing around with nuclear explosions, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, just to name a few. Also, don't let me forget about the Roswell crash of 1947. And if you knew anything about UFOs, you'd most likely know that UFOs, for whatever reason, seem to like nuclear power. General E. Byrd talks about his experience flying through the Arctic, and it's a very interesting story. He states when he took off, he was flying for quite a while before he noticed the temperature start to rise in his airplane up to a whopping 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the distance he seen some greenery and what he thought looked to be like a mammoth. Now as Byrd flew closer to this object, he did state it indeed was a mammoth, and he also said he seen a giant hole in the ground when all of a sudden he realized his controls in his airplane were no longer working. He claims he looked out the right hand side of his airplane and then he saw it, a UFO with the swastika. Told you it'd get interesting. Nazis were playing around with something called bell-shaped UFO, or even considered time travel at this point in time. But that aside, General Byrd said that he was told he was in good hands and they were lowered down into the hole, where he was instructed to speak with a man called the Master. Now, the Master told General Byrd, as is stated, that we humans have stumbled upon a technology way too powerful. And his job, General Byrd's, was to relay the information back to the government who had been tampering with this technology. Of course, this is on hush-hush terms, so none of us heard about this. But that going forward, guess what happened? If you guessed nuclear treaty, you could be correct. The information shortly after this was relayed across the entire globe in secret, then signed into act to the nuclear treaty where the World War II never went hot, thus creating the Cold War. This could be the story that is getting ready to break. This could be the story of the millennia that was coming out. Did E. Byrd actually find a life form? And did he actually specify that human species need to calm down and understand the technology that we were playing with before it was too late? What do you guys think of this information? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I hopefully I woke you up out of bed this morning. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon.